I looked out with my wife. I knew very early on that my wife was going to be the one for me. On our very first date, she wore this shirt that said Slayer on it. Does anybody here know who Slayer is? Yes, jingle your chain wallet if you know who Slayer is. For the uninitiated, Slayer is a metal band, and they rock, okay? And I just had a compliment. Our first date, Slayer shirt, I'm sitting across the table. I'm like, that is a great shirt. You like Slayer? And she was like, what? And in my head, I'm like, oh God, she thinks it's a brand. I'm like, Slayer, the band on your shirt, you listen to Slayer? She was like, this is a band? I thought it just meant going around killing people. I said, you thought it just meant going around killing people? Well, that is more metal than Slayer, so one day you will be mine. Pay your father a dowry and you will be mine. I really lucked out with my wife. She's beautiful, she's intelligent, she's charming. She has a huge vocabulary, right? Bigger than mine for sure. And I don't just mean she's well read. I mean she's black, so she can say one more word than I can. Publicly. Told that joke last week, and the couple sitting in the front row, the wife looked at her husband and was like, what word is he talking about? What is... Husband was like, I'll tell you in the truck. I'll tell you when we get back to the truck. And I'd like to think he did. Oh, my wife is very black. She comes from a very black home, very black parents. How black? You may be wondering to yourself in silence. I want you. This is how black. I want you to close your eyes and imagine this. Okay, this is how black they are. Are your eyes closed? That's how black they are. They are very black. And I'm not very black, as you may or may not have been able to decipher. I'm a little black. I was pretty skeptical about the vaccine, so I'm a little black. But I'm not very black, so it was very jarring when our paths first crossed. You know, it was a real culture shock for both of us. But immediately, right out of the gate, I really felt at home. First day there, they started giving me a nickname. First day there, they started calling me Howdy when I'd come through the door. They'd be like, oh, here comes Howdy. We got Howdy in the house. Here's Howdy. I'm feeling great. I got this cool nickname from these cool black people. You know, I'm like crip walking into the house. Finally, I asked the dad, I was like, what's up with this nickname, Howdy? It's because I'm a Texas man, right? You're from New York, she's from St. Louis, that's why you call me Howdy? He was like, what? No, you idiot. It means howdy, get her. Well, I'm having sex with that man's daughter tonight, so I'll have the last laugh. Ed? Truth be told, there was a brief moment in time within that first year of marriage that I didn't know if it was going to work out between me and my wife. There was a window in our history, a snapshot, when I had reason to believe that my wife was a member of the famed conspiracy group QAnon. You guys know QAnon? Yeah, this is Texas, right? We all have one family member we assume is in QAnon. I thought my wife had been infected with these ideas. I walked in, I heard her on the phone with her mom. She was saying, oh, I recently discovered QAnon. QAnon's been really good for me. I think you should give QAnon a try. I think QAnon could be good for you. And long story short, my wife just doesn't know how to pronounce quinoa, so we dodged a bullet. Thinking about kids, maybe. I don't know. Got to get those Instagram likes somehow, right? You know? Thinking about kids. I don't know. My wife, she just turned 30. She's kind of like, she's wondering if she's starting to get like too old to have kids. And she was consulting with one of her friends, you know, like if she had any tips for how to get pregnant. I'm like, what, did you miss that class in school? But her friend was like, oh, you just have sex multiple times a day. You know, it'll increase the chances that one of them will take and, you know, you can get pregnant. And listen, I'm all for the extra practice, okay? But if my child doesn't come from that first load of cum, I don't want to meet this fourth load baby, okay? The first load, come on, that's your A team, all right? By the time you get to the fourth load, I mean, those guys, that's the Suicide Squad. Those guys are, that's just science, folks, okay? That's the weaker sperm. That's just, think about the dumbest people in your life, okay? Their parents probably had sex like 5 times to conceive them. That's just science. Okay? You think about the Leonardo da Vinci's of the world, the Nikola Teslas of the world, the LeBron Jameses of the world. Pre-cum. Those guys were pre-cum. It's creme de la cum. Those guys are... If you guys know anything about me, that would be weird. 'Cause you guys don't know me. But if you did, you would know that I love Rubik's Cubes. I keep Rubik's Cubes with me at all times. I got a Rubik's Cube in the green room right now. I've got a collection of like 100 Rubik's Cubes at my house. I take Rubik's Cubes. They keep Rubik's Cubes in my car. They've gotten me out of tickets before. I've taken Rubik's Cubes to strip clubs. I've gotten free lap dances before. I love Rubik's Cubes, okay? Found a new use for Rubik's Cubes recently, though. Saving your life in a gunfight. See a couple eyes wide. Well, we're going to get into it. Okay, I'm not just going to whip it out and let you look at it, all right? I wouldn't do that to you, okay? And not too long ago, coming up home after a show, and I pull in. It's after midnight. Truth be told, I'm a little sauced up, okay? But... I pull into my apartment. I'm like, oh, should I go check my mail for now? I'm gonna go let my dog out first and then check my mail. No, I'll go check my mail first and then let my dog. So I check my mail. I'm walking back through my courtyard. I'm like, okay, there's a bill, there's a Playgirl, and then all of a sudden this guy comes up with a pistol and he's like, shh, 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 shh. And I'm like, oh shit! And instincts took over. And I was always taught that you charge a gun and run away from a knife. I saw like a Steven Seagal video when I was 9, and I'm glad it did, because it saved my life, because immediately I went for the gun, was wrestling the gun, bah, bah, elbow to the head, almost had control of the gun, but this guy, he had a secret weapon that I didn't account for. He had a friend, and his friend came around the side and punched me right in the nose, knocked off my glasses. And you guys, anybody in here who wears glasses, you know, once the glasses are off, hey, tie me up, peg me, do whatever you gotta do, just... leave the glasses alone, right? Looking for the glasses like a cat with a laser, like... You know, these guys are just like standing over me, and I've been pistol whipped and beaten, and they're just laughing at me, calling me Velma. Like, it's a real low point in my life, if I'm being honest, okay? Finally, I'm there, I'm on my knees, I got a gun to my head, I'm looking up into the window where my dog's sleeping, and I'm like, this is it? This is how I die right now. This is so fucked up. I didn't even get to go to Harry Potter World yet. And the guy's like, it doesn't have to be like this, man. It doesn't have to, all we need is your wallet. Just give us your wallet. And I just got this new jacket, like so new that I'm still like learning where all the pockets are. So I'm like, oh, where's that wallet? It's gotta be here somewhere. I got the wallet. And that's when I felt it, you know. Kind of like Harry did, actually, in the first book. I pulled it out of my pocket. I was like, I got a Rubik's Cube. Do you want a Rubik's Cube? And I swear to God, he dropped me, the guy with the gun, he looked at his friend, he looked back at me, and he was like, I can't do this. I have a brother who's autistic, too.